me!
What?
They got me good!
Who is this?
Oh, I don't remember my name, but there's probably a guy around there who knows yours.
Wait, knows mine? What?
Yeah, real creepy guy.
Creepy guy? What does he look like?
White face.
There's tons of white people around here.
Mask, white mask.
White mask?
I think he's to your right. Nope, sorry, your left. My bad.
What do I need to do?
Back up as slowly as you can. Okay, not that slow. Is he still there?
Nope.
Run. Are you at your car yet?
Not yet.
What, did you park 2 blocks over?
It's a lot of criticism from a dead guy.
I mean, it's your funeral.
Oh, shoot. Woo! Made it. Where's my phone?
Hey, did I lose you? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Tavern Talk. I'm Philip, and joining me this week,
Tanner?
yeah,
I'm back.
yeah, you're back. Because you are our resident horror expert.
Yeah.
Let me pronounce that all the way through. Horror expert.
Thank you. My wife watches these.
Yeah.
You misunderstood me!
You're welcome. Anyway, so this week, happy to have you back, by the way.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
for being
I'm glad
here.
to be here.
Yeah,
glad
no,
to be back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And especially this one because you have read the novel or the short story on which this is based. This week we are talking about The Black Phone. It is the new horror film from director Scott Derrickson, who has done The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Sinister, Deliver Us from Evil, also Doctor
Strange.
But then was going to do Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
Dropped out because of some disagreements, and this is what we get
Yeah,
in place
he wanted
of that,
a horror
essentially.
movie, and Feige was like, listen.
Yeah.
We don't want a horror movie, so we'll have Sam Raimi do it.
Exactly. Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, initial reaction on The Black Phone, obviously your perspective on this.
Yeah.
I have not read the book. You have.
Yeah, so it's a short story out of 21st Century Ghosts, Joe Hill, which is Stephen King's son, but I guess he doesn't want to be tied to that. There's a second son. We won't get into any of that.
I don't know.
Oh.
But the short story is fantastic. The movie takes some liberties, which it's a very short story.
Okay.
Very short. So I was wondering the whole time, what is Scott Derrickson going to do with this? He draws it out, adds some elements, the sister and so forth. I really enjoyed it.
Really?
I really enjoyed it. I thought the short story is a little scarier than this one. This one's got some jump scares, but I had a great time with the movie. What about you?
Yeah. I was actually going to suggest we play a game of me guessing what elements were added for the movie. But I would have never guessed the sister because she's like one of the most memorable characters in the movie anyway.
Yeah. And you would think Joe Hill writes, he's got some supernatural aspects in a lot of his stories. Nosferatu is probably his big novel that they turned into a television show on AMC.
Okay.
And so you would think, so that's from the book. But no, the sister, are we in spoiler territory yet?
You know what? Spoiler alert for The Black Phone.
If you're
Right
watching
now.
this, go watch the movie first. What's wrong with you people?
It's an hour and 40.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. If you're
Pause.
watching a review on The Black Phone, you're probably going to watch The Black Phone.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Come back.
All right.
Sister,
Spoiler alert. Let's
sister,
go.
not in the story.
Not in the story. Okay.
But she's a fantastic part of this movie, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first guess for what's in the movie, not in the book, would have been the brother character played by James Ransone.
Yeah, there's another brother, and
Okay.
it's another different brother character, but this one's more of a comedic aspect of it.
Yeah.
And so, I
guess that's why it kind of felt like out of left field in the movie.
Yeah, when you watch a Derrickson movie, he does like to introduce a little humor in there. Joel McHale's in Deliver Us from Evil. He's got some funny lines. This same actor, his name is
James Ransone.
It's the kids.
James Ransone. My apologies. He's in Sinister
Yeah.
and the much
And
beloved
sequels.
Sinister 2.
He had like what? He was like the sheriff or something in the first Sinister,
Yeah, he's
right?
like a deputy.
Small part.
He's just got some little bit parts, but yeah.
Got promoted
Yeah.
in that terrible, terrible sequel. But Scott Derrickson didn't direct, but
produced.
yeah. So what did this deliver that maybe you didn't expect, I guess?
So coming at this, I really like Derrickson's work. You and I talked about it right now. For me, coming up, watched a lot of horror movies as a kid. Parents worked all the time. Great parents. They just were never home. So I watched a lot of stuff I shouldn't have watched.
Yeah, I never got to watch any.
Yeah,
I saw, this is completely off topic, but From Dusk Till Dawn, was the first time I saw that was at your house in high school.
I have no idea what he's talking about. You have no proof that.
Sorry, you're right, I don't.
I
But
still
thank
own it
you.
on DVD.
I'm not going to drain you completely.
Anyway, so right now, coming at this, love Scott Derrickson's work. I'm a big fan of where horror's at right now. You've got Jordan Peele, who's really like probably what M. Night Shyamalan should have been.
Yeah.
And then you have Mike Flanagan, who I think I told you to me is kind of the Nirvana, the Pearl Jam of horror right now.
Okay.
He's got this moodiness, this saturation to the tone.
Okay.
It's very heavy.
I'm following.
And then you've got Scott Derrickson, who to me is 9 Inch Nails. He's not all the way Marilyn Manson, who what I would say is Rob Zombie.
No, we just hated each other.
Okay.
No offense to Rob Zombie. Maybe Rob Zombie is the Rob
Rob
Zombie.
Zombie.
I mean, I would touch anything. I don't care.
I was going to
Of horror.
say,
Yeah,
we don't
okay.
even need it.
We don't even need Marilyn Manson, which someone should have said 30 years ago. But Scott Derrickson, 9 Inch Nails of horror.
Okay.
Which what I mean by that is there is still the mood there, but then that metal really hits. If he's not influenced by heavy metal, I would just be shocked.
Yeah.
There is something he does with sound
Yeah.
that is a heavy metal aspect, and then there's an unexpected things. There's a scene where the sister runs out of the house and she's running, but nothing's moving. That he does, he can take you out of a film without taking you out of the film.
Oh, I like that.
You get out of the reality of what's happening.
Right, yes.
Yet
No, I
he
know.
does it with such a seriousness of tone that you're
Yeah.
not like, what's happening?
And that is required a lot in this story because one of my favorite things
Yeah.
was some of the blocking that
Yep.
they did with, so I mean, if you're new to the movie premise, short story, whatever, this is essentially a story about just a bad dude who is kidnapping kids
Yep.
in Denver in 1978. It's a very creepy Ethan Hawke. I like that we don't get a lot of information about him at all.
you don't need it.
Yeah, he is just there to represent pure, ugly, nasty, evil, and and it's definitely focused. I loved like the first 10 minutes. I was like, oh, I'm ready to watch this 70s high school movie.
You're ready to watch Halloween?
Exactly.
Because they call him the grabber, much
Right.
the shape.
The shape,
You don't
right.
have any reasoning behind it, and that's probably to me where
Fair
a lot
point,
of
yeah.
people step out in horror now. You need to know the motivations behind a character. You need to know the motivations behind Thanos.
Perfectly balanced.
I don't need to know why Michael Myers is killing.
Right. Yeah. No.
So I did to not jump on your point there, but I do appreciate that everything we get of him. It's not I'm sure he was abused as a child or something. You don't get any of it.
Right. You can just make your own assumption. And again, I thought we might get some at one point in the movie, and I was really relieved that we didn't get that, and also was just like, because they do give enough to where you're like, you recognize how twisted this guy probably is. But yeah, I was saying all that to say like most of this centers on this kid named Vinny, and he is trapped in the Ethan Hawke's basement.
Yeah.
And somehow, I didn't expect the supernatural element to be but it's kind of the key element.
Yeah, no, it's big time.
And I didn't, I guess I wasn't ready for that or didn't expect that. But so he is able to talk to past victims of this man through a phone that is hanging on the wall in this basement. And the blocking and how they convey the phone calls from these past victims and everything, I thought was really, really cool and just really well done and really effective emotionally as well. Like it just, I mean, you and I are both dads. It's hard to watch stuff like this sometimes. And I thought that instead of latching on to the killer's motivations and figuring out what his is, really leaning into the victims and showing us their lives, the little moments with like the sister where she's having trouble sleeping the first night he's gone, like all that stuff just really works.
Yeah, it's almost You can see the influence from the Amblin movies. Kids on bikes?
Yeah, exactly.
There's lots of kids on bikes in this movie. But it's this, when the kids are up against an evil or a force that is bigger than them, the basement seems deeper than it should be.
Right.
The walls are bare and concrete. There's this sense of hopelessness until the kids start talking to him.
Right.
And the fact that Joe Hill relays all that through a black phone, and it's this rotary phone on the wall, I can't even get into I'm just not deep enough.
Right.
I'm just not. That's not. I'm not.
But I did wonder at one point, like, I was like, what is he trying to hit? Like, what caveat of our culture is he trying to, like, highlight and say that we maybe need to work on, or that is really tragic, or I don't know what it is yet.
No.
I don't want to necessarily watch the movie again either, because it is so just like, it's not dreadful, but it's like it's heavy. It's just full of dread.
Yep.
And I'm curious. I was going to ask you that as well, having read the story, if there was something maybe theme wise that was in there that wasn't in the movie, or that did complement one another.
And I think Hill, much like his father, there's a certain heaviness behind everything, and then I would say there's some King novels, in Pet Sematary probably being the one that I don't know what silver lining you pull out of this.
Yeah.
But The Shining, Dr. Sleep, there's all these things where kids overcome.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's probably what Hill's going for, is that there's this sense of wonder and belief in kids. The sister, her so much belief in Jesus and what she's doing, and even her prayers are funny, but she believes that Jesus is giving her these dreams, and that faith pays off.
Right.
This kid's faith in what he believes pays off. He does what the kids tell him, and so maybe there is some blind faith, what children have that we as adults, that is cynicism and disbelief that we run into. Maybe that's what it is, but I may be stretching.
No, I mean, even just like boiling it down to like really hoping that next generation overcomes what we weren't able to, something like that. No, that, I mean, even that is like nice. But I wanted to actually talk to you, because you'd said you read a couple interviews with Derrickson leading up to this, and that he talked about his faith in some of them. What was he saying about that, and how it? Because I was surprised by that aspect of this movie, but I enjoyed it.
He talks about evil, and it was Deliver Us from Evil where the interview came from. But then there's some conversations about his belief.
Yeah,
in Christ and who Christ is and in God, and I won't get into all of that here, but that he is a believer. That his problem with American Christianity, and that's a whole, you don't have time for that tonight, but his belief in who Christ really is and the hope in that. And so you can see that here. You can see it in Delivers from Evil. Yeah, I don't know about Sinister.
I really got to rewatch Exorcism of Emily Rose again.
Exorcism of Emily Rose. There's a lot of that good versus evil.
Yeah,
here, and
it's been a minute, but that
And I think that boils down to kind of what this movie is. You don't need to sympathize with evil.
Right.
You don't need to sympathize with Ethan Hawke, and maybe that's the piece of this, is that good triumphs over evil.
Well, and I hate to kind of reroute here into evil territory, but a lot of people who are going to go see this are probably going to see this because Ethan Hawke in another horror film, which has become kind of this like subgenre of whether it be Sinister or the Purge movie. But like, what did you think of his portrayal of this guy?
I thought he does some things that almost give you this Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
Yeah.
There's some, and maybe it's the scraggly here, there's some pitch changes in his voice that are fantastic.
The voice really, it didn't catch me off guard, but it surprised me how well it fit.
Oh, it's fantastic. And the when he decides to wear either the mouthpiece of the mask only or the headpiece, the cowl.
That mask is way more involved than I expected.
Yes, and there's the light plays with Ethan Hawke when he's in the stairwell. There's some really good things in the way he moves his hands, the way he plays with his body.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke is doing a lot more acting than his dialogue. His eyes are doing a ton here.
No, the eyes, there's one sequence, and I mean, we said spoiler alert, so we're good. There's one sequence where you are to believe he's asleep, and he is, but at the same time, the mask and the shadow of the mask are covering his eyes, and just the tension in that alone is just, it's like that's top-notch stuff. Like, I was just like, yes, this is fantastic. Like, A+ for this sequence alone.
Ethan Hawke's fantastic in it. I think he's very, spoiler alert, he dies at the end. He does die in the book as well. It is a character like I hope Ethan Hawke gets to play this. I don't know if he turns this into his Moon Knight character or what. I don't know. But there's a sinister, and I hate to sinister.
I mean,
ness to his character and how he does with it. You want to see him play a villain more. Ethan Hawke's a fantastic and really heartfelt good guy.
Right.
But
I didn't realize how much he's kind of turned to the like accepting those types of roles, like really put himself in that. Even in, did you watch The Northman yet?
Have not watched The Northman yet.
Okay, he's in it for a very short period of time.
Peacock credentials?
Yes, I did.
Sneaky, sir.
Okay, stop. I'm glad we're not sponsored by NBC Universal, even though this is a Universal movie.
This Universal.
Anyway. Northman, yeah, he's the king in that movie, but a lot of layers there.
Okay.
So
check
yeah,
it out.
If you're going to this for Ethan Hawke, because he's the guy on the poster, he's the guy under the mask and everything. In it, a lot less than I expected.
Right.
But obviously one of the most effective things about it.
He's the Jaws of the movie.
Yes, exactly.
He's the shark.
That's it. There it is. We don't need to say anything else. So with that, as you know, end of the review, star rating, out of 5 stars, The Black Phone. What are you going?
I'm giving it a 4.
Same.
Yep. I would probably give it a little higher, but I thought at times there was some stuff with the dad that was added in.
Okay.
That added some context to the children's characters, and I don't...
So the dad's not in the short story? Or he is just in a limited capacity?
Yeah, I'm sure the child has parents. It's not... he doesn't come from midichlorians.
What are midichlorians?
But no, there was some stuff with the dad I didn't think worked.
Okay.
And I don't know if that comes from a performance standpoint or something else. But solid movie.
And I know that actor, too.
Yeah, he's played Charles Manson twice.
Is that him?
I believe, maybe not.
I think he was in Lost. We could be completely wrong about all of this.
He did fantastic in Family
Yeah, he
Opera.
was a little like his purpose was a little obvious.
Yeah.
And there were a few this is a movie heavily starring children,
Yep.
and some of those acting moments where they have to pull off certain deliveries and things. There are a few rough patches, but I mean this is also like rough subject matter, and they do pretty damn well with it.
I thought they handled it very well.
Yeah. So okay, sweet. 4 across the board. I mean, if you can't guess already, if you're into the horror genre, if you like Ethan Hawke's recent run of horror films, if you like Scott Derrickson, I don't think there's any reason you wouldn't want to check this out anyways. But if you're on the fence about it, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention or that's coming up? Are we starting a podcast yet or what?
Yeah, check that out soon on Spotify
We've only
or
been
all your
talking
other
about it
podcatchers.
for-
We'll get Charles, old host Charles, in on that. Yeah.
Old host Charles.
No, I just appreciate coming out. Yeah, like Philip said, if you're a Blumhouse fan, any of that, I hate the term prestige horror, but if you are just into Stephen King, Joe Hill, any of that new kind of 20th century, 21st century supernatural horror, I think they handled, as a father, really appreciated how they handled the child stuff. It wasn't overly gory. It wasn't the torture porn of the early aughts.
Yeah.
And it showed the kids in shadows. I really thought they handled all of that really well.
Yeah, and if the word supernatural freaks you out, I know there's a lot of fans of that show called that.
Well, acting. It's like working with children.
But if in movies you're not a fan of that element, don't worry about that in this, because it's still very grounded.
It's very much film built on tension.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Danner, for joining me and talking about
back.
The Black Phone. I'm glad somebody was willing to watch it with me. So
yeah, anytime. You say, hey, Ethan Hawke, scary movies, kids in basements.
That's all I got to say?
That's all you got to say.
There it is. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. All that stuff helps these videos get more views. And we upload a new review of the biggest release every week. So if you want to know when those go up, hit that subscribe button. Thank you to the Movie Tavern for letting us see the movies here, shoot the show here every week. But that's it for this week. Check back with us next week. And we'll
tip your waiters.
Yeah, tip your waiters. Peace. Hit record on the audio, Danner. It's a great shot. It's a great shot.
Recording, final take.
And action.